And thank you for being part and parcel of this show this far. And right now, let's just give you an update on what's happening as of this hour, where 4 members of parliament, part of the Pangani 6 group that was charged with hate speech back in 2016, have today been acquitted of all the charges. The 4, Aisha Jumwa, Timothy Bosire, Junet Mohammed and Florence Mutua, appeared today before Nairobi Chief Magistrate Martha Mutuku, who struck out all charges against them, citing a defective charge sheet. In her ruling, the magistrate said the charges were defective and an abuse to court process. She further faulted the DPP, saying duplicity of charges is prejudicial and amounts to failure of justice. Now, also today, the Kenya Institute of Curriculum Development has denied allowing a controversial book titled Blood Ties to be used in Kenyan primary schools. KICD was responding to a Twitter user, Siombua Kifue, who flagged the book, saying it uses obscene language that pupils in class 6 should not be exposed to. Kifue alleged that the book had been okayed by KICD for use in class 6, but the school's curriculum agency vehemently refutes Kifue's claim, saying it is not listed in the orange book that contains a list of all books that schools should use for teaching and learning. Also today, Third Way Alliance has sued the Kirinyaga County Assembly and its speaker over the rejection of Punguza Mizigo Bill. The party claims the County Assembly of Kirinyaga used an unlawful process to reject the Punguza Mizigo Bill. The party now wants the court to quash the decision by the MCAs and compel the Assembly to conduct a public participation exercise on the bill. They also want the court to issue orders that the bill be reintroduced in the Assembly within 5 days for a fresh voting exercise. Let's move on now to international news, where at least 27 people, many of them children, were killed in a fire at a boarding school in a suburb of the Liberian capital, Monrovia. The fire is believed to have broken out in the early hours of Wednesday morning when Quranic school students were sleeping in a building near their mosque. President George Weah has visited the scene and expressed his condolences. A police spokesman said the fire was caused by an electrical problem, but investigations are still ongoing. And from Saudi Arabia is that Saudi Arabia's defense ministry has shown off what it says is wreckage of drones and cruise missiles that prove Iranian involvement in weekend attacks on 2 oil facilities. It said 18 drones and 7 cruise missiles were fired from a direction that ruled out Yemen as a source. Yemen's Iran-aligned Houthi rebels have said they are behind the attacks. Iran has denied any involvement and warned it would retaliate against any attack that targeted it. And more than 8 years after the Fukushima nuclear disaster, a Japanese court has cleared 3 former executives of the firm operating the plant of professional negligence. It was the only criminal case to arise out of the disaster, which was the worst since Chernobyl in 1986. In 2011, a plant operated by Tokyo Electric Power was hit by a tsunami, causing a triple meltdown. More than 470,000 were evacuated from their homes as a result, and nearly 18,500 people died or are missing from the wider disaster. The 3 former executives were indicted for failing to implement tsunami countermeasures, leading to the death of 44 people. Now, also yesterday during our evening edition, we had this package for you titled Health Unlimited, which will be coming your way each and every Wednesday at 9 p.m. So let's get to appreciate what was filed by our reporter Dennis Matara. And the question is, how well do you know your blood pressure levels? Well, did you know that you may never know if you are hypertensive until disaster strikes? Well, on our weekly segment, Health Unlimited, Dennis Motara tells you how one health volunteer from Kahawa, Wendani, Kiambu County is sensitizing his neighbors and motorists about hypertension. Zablon Orina moves from door to test his neighbors' blood pressure and educating them on why it is important to know their blood pressure levels. Take a look.
My name is Zablon Orina. As a first step towards ending the burden of high blood pressure in Kenya, I request that I take your blood pressure because I want every Kenyan, including you.
Nikunje shati.
Usikunje. Ukikunje ita restrain blood flow. So wacha tuitumie ikiwa hivyo.
Tunachagua mkono left right ama ni A?
It's either of the hands. In 2013 nikapigiwa simu kutoka Eldoret kwamba bro wangu ako na kidney failure. So nikamleta Nairobi afanywe dialysis na treatment and he got admitted in Avenue. Akatibiwa, kanikula $500,000 kwa hiyo story. Kumbe pressure yake ndio ilikuwa juu ikaribu kidney zake na hatukujua. Unaona? So after that tukaanza kulipia dialysis every week 18,000 for 1.5 years. So despite that sacrifice, the guy died. So after that nikaketi chini nikajiuliza how hard is it to manage blood pressure. Nikapata challenges za ku manage blood pressure in Kenya because most people have never checked their blood pressures.
So what we have is the upper number is 104, ya chini ni 74.
So inamaanisha nini?
Inamaanisha hiyo namba ya juu, when the heart pushes blood inaleta hiyo namba ya juu, na ikirelax inaleta hii ya chini. Unaona? Hiyo ya 60 hiyo ni beats per minute. Normal blood pressure is falls between 120 and 80 and 90 and 6. So anything between hii namba ya juu 120 na chini 80 and below is considered to be normal blood pressure. Anything above inaitwa elevated mpaka ikifika 140 90, hiyo sasa ni high blood pressure. So watu wengi sana wako na elevated, si high but ni elevated. Kiwa na elevated bado inaweza haribu heart.
Actually the ministry figures inasema 56% of Kenyans have never had their blood pressure checked. Yet more than people above 23% pressure zao ziko juu, meaning zinaendelea ku damage tu organs zao pole pole, then wakipata heart attack wanafikiri sasa hiyo ndio wamepata hiyo shida. Kumbe ni kitu ilianza a few years ago. So to end this burden ya watu kupata stroke, ya watu kupata heart attack, kidney failure na erectile dysfunction, wanaume hawasemi hiyo, nikaona the best thing kila mtu ajue pressure yake, wale ziko juu watibiwe, zikwe controlled. So that's why I've set out to ensure every Kenyan knows their blood pressure.
Na weekend naweza pima watu kama 30 juu hawajitokezi wengi. Otherwise kupima unaweza pima watu hata 100. Habari zenu? Yes. Mimi naitwa Zablon. Napita nikipima watu pressure. Naomba nipime yako. Na silipishi kitu mami.
Bado naenda churches, naenda mikutano hata ya mazishi, naambia watu about your pressure. Kwa sherehe naambia watu kuhusu pressure, na hii machine pia nawapima na nawaelezea maana ya namba zao. Wale pressure zao ziko juu na watuma kwa daktari. Na pia huwa naenda door to door during weekends. Napitanga kila mlango na knock, naomba watu na wapima pressure zao, nikiwa educate, nikiwahamasisha kuhusu high blood pressure and the dangers of not knowing and not controlling it. Alafu pia hawa watu wanauza kwa masoko hivi, hawa mama mnaona wanauza mboga hao, mimi wapima, wengi wao pressure zao ziko juu na msurprise. Hawajui. Wengine napata waliambiwa ziko juu, wakapewa dawa lakini waliacha kumeza kitambo. Ndio kitu kingine inamaliza watu.
Okay, kitu naweza ku advise ni muhimu uende uone daktari. Hii pressure yako isipopewa dawa itakuja kuumiza. Na inaweza kosa kuchukua muda mrefu, inafaa iteremshwe. Juu ni pressure tu ifike ipite hapa ikue below 140, hapa ikue chini ya 90.
Uzuri wa low blood pressure hata inaweza kukupa signs kidogo, uanze kufaint, ukue weak, dizzy. Lakini high blood pressure inanga signs. Kama hujui pressure yako iko juu na iko juu, itaenda ikiharibu organ. Ni pole pole. It's chronic. By the time utakuja kuhisi hizo signs, inakuwa ni too late. The damage is irreversible. Now, if your heart imekuwa kubwa, hakuna dawa itairudisha ikue normal. Unaona? Kama uko na irregular heartbeat, tuseme juu pressure yako imekuanga juu, utawekewa pacemaker ya 1.2 million, tuseme. Unaona? But your pacemaker life yako haitakuwa normal after that. So why can't people take action now? Because ni kitu rahisi. To fix it now, to avoid hizo complications.
35? Okay.
Umewahi pima blood pressure? Naona unajua ya taya yako ni 35.
It's very important to know your body because if you look at the statistics, hypertension is it's a slow killer or a silent killer.
Zablon believes the same way motorists know their tire pressure of their vehicles is the same way every person also needs to know about their blood pressure.
Dennis Matara, K24 for Health Unlimited.
That is Dennis Matara with Health Unlimited. What an inspiring story of Zablon who's decided to go out of his way and come closer to you just to sensitize you and make you fully aware of the risks of hypertension by, among other things, creating awareness. And the first thing he's decided to do is to make sure that you're well aware of your blood pressure levels. Now, we're just about to wind up the Daily Brief today. However, remember yesterday what happened in State House right here in Nairobi when President Uhuru Kenyatta threw his support behind McDonald Mariga to contest for the Kibra by-election on a Jubilee ticket. Now, political pundits argue out this story in various ways, but right now would like to hear what you have been saying in as far as this particular story is concerned. We'll go straight on to Twitter and just sample your feedback. And Kibera by-election at Williams Ruto. Now that Mariga, Jubilee's Kibra candidate, was cleared by IEBC and formally unveiled today by our party leader. Note, Jubilee and party leader are in capital letters. It is all systems go. The ball is squarely in the court of all of us leaders serving. And let's move on to the next one. Asamoah _ President Uhuru Kenyatta remains the Jubilee party leader, just like Raila heads ODM. Why the fuss about the president endorsing McDonald Mariga for Kibra by-election as a Jubilee candidate? That's the question there. Next, Ibrahim Joni. To those angry with Uhuru unveiling Mariga, just know that the handshake was not a coalition. Each party remains as it is and will compete in a democratic way. Next, we have Ahmed Kadar 1, who says now that President Uhuru has endorsed Mariga, Maina Kamanda atambia nini watu? Talk of eating a humble pie. Last but not least, Ototo Harun. Besides and irregardless of Uhuru Kenyatta being the president, he is the party leader of Jubilee. So, Mariga is the responsibility of the president and his deputy. So, what does this mean, this endorsement? Does it mean that now the president will traverse Kibra campaigning for McDonald Mariga? Is this the real test for the handshake? Because we've seen ODM Secretary General, that is Edwin Sifuna, respond to this move saying that the president has just betrayed the handshake. Well, clearly there are various issues that will inform the decision that Kibra residents may make come November 7th this year, when they are expected to elect the man or woman who will be representing them in Parliament. So definitely a story that we shall follow up for you right here at K24 TV. However, for now, consider yourself briefed, because that is the daily brief as it is of now. Thank you so much for watching the show. Walter Asewe has been our sign language interpreter. Now coming up next is Inside Business. That is the last word in business. I will be seeing you at 1 p.m. for Newscut. And today, expect an update on Top Cohen's death, because it now appears he will be buried on the 23rd of September. But we shall be giving you more details in as far as that is concerned at the top of the hour. That is at 1 p.m. My name is Samuel Njoroge. Thank you for watching the Daily Brief today. Carol Jenga is coming up next with Inside Business. Enjoy the show.